Hi everyone. In this video, I am going to take you through the SNAP application process. So applying for SNAP and then applying to the institutes that fall under Symbiosis University is an integrated process. So the first thing that I am going to do is take you through all the steps that you need to complete to submit your SNAP application and then also show you how to select the business schools. So let's get started. So let's first go through the important dates. Now SNAP is going to be conducted on 3 dates, which is 10th December, 17th December and 22nd December. These are termed as SNAP 1, SNAP 2 and SNAP 3. Candidates can take up to 3 attempts. In terms of the registration closing date, it is going to close on 23rd November, and for payment closure date also it's the same, which is 23rd November. The admit card for SNAP 1 will be live on 4th December and for test 2 and 3 it will be live on 9th December. The announcement of result is going to happen on 10th January. Now when it comes to strategizing your attempt of SNAP, a lot of times students have this question that should I take 1 attempt, 2 attempts or all 3 attempts, because the testing authority allows you to take up to 3 attempts. Now please note that there won't be any normalization, and this is something that is given on the Symbiosis website, that there won't be any normalization of score between test 1, test 2 and test 3. It may happen that test 1 is perceived to be slightly easy or test 2 comes out to be slightly difficult. And that is why we suggest that if you are somebody who is very serious about getting into Symbiosis, you take at least 2 attempts. The reason for that is, let's say you take only 1 attempt, it may happen that that attempt comes out to be slightly difficult or you are not able to perform to the best of your abilities. And that is why we would suggest that you go for 2 attempts, and if you are very serious, I think you can also go for 3 attempts. Of course, it's a call that you will have to take at this point of time. Now let's start the actual form filling process. So I am on the main website of Snap Test, and you will find a link to this particular website in the description. You can click on that link and start your application process. So on the right side you will see a button which says apply now. You have to click on that, and let me show you what happens next. So once you click on apply now button, you will see something like this which shows your Snap ID and password and so on. Of course, we have not created our account at this point of time, and that is why I won't be able to enter any information here. So what I'll do is I'll click on the register button at the bottom and create my account. So let me click on register and show you the next steps. So before you start creating your account, you will have to go through some of the text guidelines that they have given. The prerequisite is of course having a passport size photograph. So make sure that you keep that ready with you. And then there are a lot of instructions in terms of your eligibility. So with regards to reservation, because there are colleges such as IMS where there is quota for defense personnel. There are colleges such as SIBM Nagpur where there is a domicile requirement. So there are a lot of these specifics. So what I would suggest you is to go through the entire documentation which is given here and understand what all things you need to have before you start submitting your application. So go through it in detail, take your time, and once you're done, you will have to click on the checkbox and then move forward. So to create your account, these are the questions that you'll have to answer. Starting from applicant name, and you are supposed to enter it the way it appears on your 10th or 12th mark sheet. Then you have to enter your date of birth followed by mobile number. We suggest you to not change the mobile number throughout the admission process. You will have to enter your primary email and then retype that primary email. Post this, there is a question which is your category, and then there are 5 options here. So I'm just going to show you what these 5 options are. The options are open, SC, ST, DA and then Kashmiri migrants. There are 2 more questions. The first question is nationality, and you just have to select from the drop down, and the next is are you an NRI candidate, which has a yes or a no response. So once you complete this part, the next thing is going to be deciding what all SNAP tests you are going to appear for. Now in terms of SNAP test, as I have already mentioned, there are 3 dates on which it is going to be conducted. So you can see those 3 dates here, SNAP test 1, 2 and 3. Now they will get auto selected by default, so you'll have all 3 tick marked. But now what you'll have to do is, in case let's say you're not planning to take one of them, you can deselect it. For example, if I don't want to appear for SNAP test 3, I can deselect that and it will vanish. Once I do this, I'll also have to select the test city for it, and it will show me whether it is available or not available. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a random choice and show you how it will appear. So as you can see on screen, I have chosen 2 snaps, SNAP test 1 and 2, and then I have given my city preference. What you can see is it is showing me that the test city is available. What this means is that I can take the test on that particular date at that particular city. Of course, depending on the number of attempts that you are planning to take, you will have to select those many cities as well. So currently I have chosen only 2, and that is why I have to give these 2 city preferences. Now what you will have to do right now is decide whether you are going to take 1 attempt, 2 attempts or 3 attempts, because you will not be able to change this at a later point of time. So I would suggest you take your time and decide whether you want to go for a single attempt or 2 attempts or all the 3 attempts. Once you decide, you just have to select the test city and move forward. And the last step is going to be uploading your photograph. So you can simply click on choose file and then upload your photograph, and then you are done. Once you are done, you have to click on the checkbox which is there, that I have verified my name, date of birth and so on. Just ensure that you have given all the correct information, because you will not be able to change this once you have created your account. So after you are done with all of this, you simply have to click on save and continue. Post this, you will get an OTP on your mobile number and your email address, and in that you will also get your password. So using that, you will have to log in back to the portal and then complete the payment process. So let me show you how that is going to work. Now using the Snap ID and password, I have logged in back to the dashboard. On the first login, it will ask you to change the password. Once you do that, you will have to log in again, and post login, the first thing that you will have to do is complete the payment process. So depending on how many Snap attempts you are going to take, whether you are going to take 1, 2 or 3 attempts, it will show you a different amount here. Since I have chosen only 1 attempt, it is asking me to pay 2250, but if you have, let's say, decided to take 2 attempts, it will show you double the amount, or if you are taking 3 attempts, it will show you triple the amount. So you have to make the payment first and then proceed with the rest of the formalities. So let me complete the payment process and show you what all documents or any other data point that you need to enter post the payment process. So let's complete payment now and come back to the dashboard. So as you can see on screen, I have completed the payment process and I also have the receipt number now. Now at the bottom, there is one very important note that you will have to go through, which is you must complete the remaining portion of the application form and individually make payment of 1000 rupees per institute per program in order to be considered for admission to the program offered. So just completing your Snap application, which is registering for Snap and making the Snap payment, does not mean that your application will be considered by the respective institutes. You will have to indicate what all institutes and programs you want to apply to in the form and make payment accordingly. So for every program that you select and for every institute, you will have to do a payment of 1000 rupees per program per institute to be considered. I am going to show you how that will appear. Under personal details, you will first see the information that you have already entered at the time of account creation. The next questions that you will have to answer will be, the first one is going to be work experience details. Do you have full-time work experience or not? If you don't have anything, you can simply select no. But if you have, you can click on yes, and then there's a follow-up question which is full-time work experience in months as on 31st May 2024. So you'll have to calculate how many months of experience you will have and then enter it here. The next set of information that you will have to submit is going to be your education details, starting from the 10th marks, 12th marks, then highest qualification, UG education type and UG qualifying degree. Post this, you'll also have to enter the name of the university. If the name of the university is not listed, you can select others and then enter the name of the university. Regarding the conversion of marks from CGPA to percentage, there is a note that is given that in case of CGPA, the conversion to percentage would be based on the procedure as certified by respective board or university. So whatever your board or university says with regards to conversion, you are supposed to follow that. If there is no scheme for converting CGPA into equivalent marks, the equivalence would be established by dividing candidate CGPA by the maximum possible CGPA and multiplying the result by 100. So in case your university or board does not give any explicit formula for CGPA to percentage conversion, you can follow this methodology. So now I am on the program selection part. The first thing that it will show you is that you may select as many programs as you wish to apply to, and this can be reviewed and updated prior to payment. As mentioned earlier, to apply for the individual programs, the fee that you will have to pay is going to be 1000 rupees per program. Now there are 3 kinds of programs that you are going to have. The first kind, wherein the registration deadline for those individual programs closes even before you appear for the Snap. The second kind is where the registration deadline for the program closes before the Snap result. And the third kind, wherein the registration is open even after you have received your Snap result. So in the description of this particular video, we are going to give you a link to a document wherein we are going to update the last registration deadline for each of these programs. Because as I mentioned, some of these will close prior to Snap, Some of these will close prior to Snap result, and some of these will be open even after Snap result is announced. So depending on what is the deadline for the individual program, you have to apply for that program before the registration deadline. The next thing that you have to fill is very simple, which is the address for correspondence. You have to enter line 1, 2, 3, then city. State is something that you can select from the drop down. Enter the pin code, your phone number, and an alternate email ID also needs to be mentioned, and you'll have to retype that alternate email ID. At this stage, it will show me once again the Snap test dates. So Snap test 1, 2 and 3, and as I already made the payment for Snap 1, it is showing me that it is auto selected. But now I can also decide if I want to go for another attempt. So if I want to add another attempt, I can do that at this point of time. So I can, for example, click on Snap test 2 and then indicate the city in which I am going to appear for the test and make the payment for that. Finally, it will show you the photo that you had uploaded at the time of registration. Now, in addition to this, if you are somebody who belongs to the reserved category, there will be documents that you will have to upload at this point of time. Once you are done, you can go to the next page wherein you will make the payment for the programs that you have selected. So if you have selected, let's say 5 programs and you have added one more Snap attempt, it will calculate how much money you will have to pay. For now, I have selected one program, so let me show you how the screen will appear. So as you can see on screen now, I have completed the payment for Snap test 1, and because I added a program which is MBA SIBM Pune, it is asking me to make a payment of 1000 rupees. Now, depending on how many programs you have selected on the previous page, it will calculate the amount and show you. If you had, let's say, added another attempt of Snap, it will calculate that and it will ask you to make a payment. Now, please note that for Snap test 1, because I already made the payment, though it is showing me payment last date, beyond these there are some columns which I am not showing on screen right now, but it will show you the receipt number. But below that for SIBM Pune, I just made that choice, so it is showing not paid as the payment status, which means that right now I have not completed my application. So it is showing me that I have to pay 1000 rupees before 31st December, right? So as I had mentioned in the video some time back, that there are some programs wherein you will have to apply even before the Snap result is out, correct? So herein the last date is going to be 31st December. Please note that these dates can change, so just ensure that you follow the page that we have given in the description, and there you will find all the deadlines. So you have to ensure that you make the payment process before the last date of that particular program. So once you are done, you have successfully completed your application of both Snap and for the individual programs as well. I hope you have found this video useful. In case you are not subscribed to the channel, do it right away. If you have some questions, you can always drop it as a comment and we'll try to get back at the earliest. Thank you so much for watching. Wish all of you all the best.